Carlos looked at me. I went, "You're not going to play for me unless you stay there."
Yeah.
Because he wanted to do everything except stay in the final third and nick a goal. Then it changed him.
Hi, I'm Julian Lescott.
And I'm Olivia Bazaglo. Welcome back to In the Mixer, brought to you by Sky Bet, where we discuss, debate and deep dive into the ever-evolving storylines in football.
And you can join us on Apple and Spotify if you're on the move.
Today, we're joined by former Charlton and West Ham manager Alan Curbishley joins us in the studio. Thank you so much, Alan. How are you?
Really good.
Good. First of all, let's start with Charlton, because it's a brilliant story, them in the Championship. Have you sort of kept an eye on them this season? Do you keep an eye on their results?
I go to their games.
Do
Take
you?
my grandson, who's 8, and I think what the Charlton fans have got to realise is that they're a newly promoted team.
Yeah.
And there's so many ex-Premier League clubs in that league.
Yeah.
It's like a Premier League 2. And they've just played the likes of Coventry who are top and Stoke and etc. So, yeah, they're having it a bit tough at the moment, but I think the main aim is to stay in the league after being promoted, and it makes them more attractive in the summer to bring some players in.
Being in the Championship, everyone talks about how hard the league is. Do you feel like even now it's still one of the best leagues in the world, the Championship, and really hard to get in and get out of?
Well, you, as I said earlier, you look at the names, the teams, the stadiums. I mean, when I was playing, if you went into the Championship or you went into Division 1, the stadiums weren't that good, you know, and you look at the stadiums now, they're all ex-Premier League, mostly. And, you know, the only thing I can't quite get around, and great credit to Frank Lampard, is how far Coventry, such a fantastic job, and so far ahead. You know, that goes against the grain, really, for the Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Did your grandson have any choice on who he supported, or is he a Charlton fan? Is that or West Ham? Yeah, is it sort of half and half?
It's a bit like that, but he's been going to Charlton because he likes the food, apparently. All right.
That's a great reason to go to football.
100%. Yeah, especially at that age. It's got to be like the kid.
So he gets driven there, has lunch,
the experience,
watches the game, gets driven
experience.
home.
Yeah,
Love
not bad,
it.
is
That
it?
is some life. Some life. How did you say he was 8?
I was just thinking that when I played my first game for West Ham, I went there on the tube.
Did you?
So I lived near West Ham Station.
Yeah.
So I got the tube from West Ham, so West Ham Plaistow Upton Park, walked down to the ground. I didn't know I was playing. I just was pulled out of the youth team and turned up to watch the first team. So I turned up to watch the first team and then ended up starting.
Right.
Where was your boots? Did you have your boots?
Oh, they had all the boots. Yeah. So, and then after the game, how am I going to get home? I've got to get on the tube again or the bus.
I got on the bus on the way home from my first game.
So Frank Lampard Senior took me home.
Oh, did he?
And he said, "Wait for me in the players' bar." I didn't even know where the players' bar was. Upton Park.
And is that what's funny now? Is that wouldn't be allowed now.
Frank Senior said to me, "Get in the players' bar, and I'll drive you home afterwards." So I got in the players' bar, and suddenly Bobby Moore was standing there, and he was going out for a drink. He was going out for a drink with Frank afterwards. He came to watch the game, so they took me home. So Frank drove me to my house in Canning Town. And I've got Bobby Moore in the front and I'm sitting in the back. And I was 17.
That's some story,
right?
that.
And I just played my first game. And Frank said to me, "What are you going to do tonight?" I went, "Match of the day." Because it would have been on match of the day. And he said, "Hold on." So he got to the boot and he had a case of Skull Lager. And he gave me it. He said, "Have a drink tonight because you've done well today." So I went, "Oh, right, great." So he gave me a case of Skull. So, yeah, that was my debut.
That is one of them. That's like the wildest. Like, you just said it so casually. There's just like Bobby Moore. Bobby Moore was in the front seat. Frank Lampard Senior was driving me,
Yeah, fair play.
Well, I didn't think they wanted to tell me on the Friday that I was playing.
Yeah.
You know, so just turn up and watch the first team. And I said, "No, I'll come and watch the youth team." They went, "No, just turn up and watch the first team." I still didn't know. I still didn't know I was playing.
Imagine if, like, you'd have been like, no, I'm going to go and watch the first. Do you reckon if you'd have said that, they'd have to been like, "Alan, you're playing. That's why you've got to come
I didn't know
to this
until
game."
I got in the dressing room.
That's mad.
And there was only one sub then. I thought,
one sub?
Yeah.
There's only one sub.
When they said that to me before, when I found that out for the first time, it was one sub and that, it just covered all bases.
One sub?
So I've gone in there and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, there's no names on shirts then or anything like that.
Yeah.
And John Lowe was the manager and he said, "Trevor's out, right? Sir Trev, he's out, right? And,
some of the names.
Wow.
You're next to Bonzo. And I think you're going to do all right." So that was it.
So if the goalkeeper goes down, you're just on?
No, he just got to put someone else in, like someone had to go and
So
go.
you're the sub that covers the whole team?
Yeah, the sub, yeah.
That one sub?
Yeah.
That'd be funny now, wouldn't it?
Well, if someone got sent off, if goalie got sent off, you're in big trouble, aren't you?
Oh, I'd quite like to see that now. Let's move on to West Ham then. Just the situation they're in at the moment. Because since Nuno's come in, there's been a couple of good results here and there. Do you think they'll be all right this season?
Yeah. I don't think there's any problem with that. There's sort of, and I know that the fans have been talking, there's a little bit of apathy, that they don't like the stadium, the atmosphere is not as good. But then when they had the European Cup run under David, the atmospheres were fantastic.
Amazing, yeah.
So I think that a lot of the fans, it's like a religion, they come to watch the game, and if it doesn't start right, or it's not ending right, a lot of them leave, and it's very, very difficult. I don't know. I've not spoke to any of the players to see if it affects them. Because you know what it's like.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
If the crowd's right next to you, you can hear
Upton
everything.
Park wasn't
Oh my God.
a nice place to go.
It's like the comparison is so
everywhere.
like opposite ends of the spectrum, Upton Park, compared to what it is now for West Ham.
Well, it's like most grounds in the Premier League as well. I don't think there's them spaces at any other ground. And, even if you can hear the fans, like if you do something good, that's great, isn't it? You can hear you do something bad, you take it. But, it's difficult there at the moment, I think. And, you can't keep using it as an excuse because they've been playing there for some time.
Yeah, that's the one. When you go to Upton Park, it was like, I knew, made a mistake. I was going to hear it. I was going to hear, but obviously now you
take a throw on.
Yeah, it's mad.
Along the chicken run.
Right, let's get into your managerial career then, Alan, and the success you had at Charlton. Talk me through just the fondest memories you have of being at that club.
Well, I think that I went back as player coach, reserve team player coach, with Lenny Lawrence. And he had a bit of a bust up with his first team coach, Mike Flanagan. And then he pushed me up into first team coach, and then Steve Gritt took my job as the reserve team player coach. And then at the end of the season, Lenny was trying to sign a centre-half, Alan Curbishley, from Middlesbrough. And during the discussions, I think he got offered a job. And so he decided to go to Middlesbrough. And Charlton had been playing at Selhurst Park for 5 or 6 years. And then we've been playing at Upton Park for another year, no ground. And I think Lenny had had enough of the whole situation. So he moved off to Middlesbrough. And the club had no other option to give me and Steve Gritt the job. Because no one was going to come in. They had no money to spend, no ground. A few of the players had left, raising money. So it looked all like doom and gloom. So me and Steve took over as joint managers, and we had a great season at Upton Park.
Joint managers?
Joint managers.
Many of them.
No.
No, I know.
We started it. We started it.
Started the trend.
And then did it as well.
There was one at Spurs. I think at Liverpool as well.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
Did they?
Remember that,
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
I think there was three lots, but we started it, and we'd done very well that first season at Upton Park. We then sold 2 of our best players, Robert Lee to Newcastle and Anthony Barnes to Chelsea, to raise £1 million so we could buy the Valley. The chairman put £1 million in.
The Valley for 1 million?
No, we put £1 million in, and the chairman put £1 million in. We bought the Valley back for £2 million.
Wow.
And gone back to the ground, because we had to get back to the ground.
Yeah.
And, then once we got back there, things started changing, building the stadium as it is like now. It's incredible. But it was tough, obviously, in them years. And great credit to the players that played and the fans, because they got behind the whole thing.
Yeah. What about the promotions then? Because are they the things that stand out for you, especially the one to the
Yeah. I think obviously the playoff final against Sunderland. I think Sunderland finished third, we finished fourth, and it wasn't a lot in it. So we got to the final, and as I say, I knew Reedy very well, and as we're walking out with the teams, we're chatting and etc. But the whole stadium was red and white because both teams was in red and white. It was fantastic, and it was an amazing game, as everybody knows. And we managed to do it on the penalties in the end. But it was a turning point for us, because if we hadn't won, I'd have lost 2 or 3 of the players. I knew there was other clubs. And I knew that Sunderland could bounce back.
Yeah.
Because there was, a big club, etc. So, we went up, and I managed to keep the squad together. Reedy went up the next year. So, it worked out that way. But it was the turning point for the club, because we just got ourselves back to the Valley. It was being developed. It was now a Premier League club, So all the monies that were coming in was going to make a big difference to us.
How different was it then, being in the Premier League and being a manager in the Premier League compared to the Championship?
Well, the first thing is I sat down with the chairman and the board at the start of the season, and we decided that a third of the money that was coming in from the Premier League was going to go on the team. A third of the money was going to go on the stadium, and a third was going to be a safety net in case it all didn't go so well.
Yeah.
So there's no parachute payments these times?
Yeah, there was a little bit, I think, but we decided that I think it was worth 10 million. So 3 million went on the players.
You got promoted for 10 million and
Yeah.
now it's 150.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, but what year was...
98, 97, 98. So.
Yeah, but now it's like, even, that wasn't a lot, but now it's like the richest game in sport now.
It was a lot.
No, I was
Yeah, but
at
you know
the
what I mean?
time,
Yeah,
at
but
the
it wasn't.
time, but
Yeah,
it-
but even then, it wasn't the richest game in sport. Now it's the richest game in sport.
Yeah.
To get
But what we
with the
done-
playoff final, yeah.
But what we did, we spent a third on the team, a third went on the stadium to finish the stadium off, and a third went in the safety net. We went down, last game of the season, which, was a bit tough. It was against us, but we had to win and results go for us, but we didn't win anyway. So we went down, but it saved me from selling players. So we could resist bids. When we was in the playoffs,
Yeah.
I couldn't have resisted bids if we hadn't won. But I could have resisted bids. And to be fair, we sold one player, Danny Mills, to Leeds, which was a great price. It was a great move for him.
Yeah.
So we weren't going to stand in his way. And we didn't sell anyone. And we come straight back up. And that
Who was in the squad that year? Because I think that was my first season.
the team that
went back up.
That went back up.
went back up. It had been Dean Kiley,
Yeah.
Luke, Luke Young,
Yeah.
Richard Rufus.
Yeah, Rufus, yeah. Sean Newton.
Sean Newton,
Yeah.
Scott Minto.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss people out, but we had Mendonca, Andy Hunt up top.
Yeah, I remember that was
So
the
we
team
had
I
a
played
decent
against.
side.
Yeah.
We had a decent side. So we went straight back up, won the championship, went straight back up. And I think the major thing with that was working out the finances and the fact that I agreed with the board and the chairman. And we got relegated, but no, there was never going to be like, oh, he's out.
Yeah.
Because we was all in it together. It was, so we came straight back up and then that slowly started to build and, the Parkers of this world come into the side and et cetera, et cetera.
When you were in the Premier League, did you feel like, when we talk about now that pressure, is it really there, that pressure, what you feel of being a Premier League manager and needing to stay in the league and wanting to stay in the league? And
it wasn't so much wanting to stay in the league, we didn't want to embarrass ourselves.
Yeah.
That was the thing, you didn't want to be getting beat 5s and 6s, because you're playing Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal.
And back then, that was when, especially Man United, that was when, Man United, they're not the Man United now, are they?
Yeah.
That was then when they were Man United.
Yeah. It was like, blimey, we're going to Old Trafford. You know what I mean? And the teams we was playing, and the players we was playing against, and I had to stop some of the players, like getting autographs, you know what I mean? It was that sort of, or asking
But do
someone
you blame them, though? This is
someone to change shirts, right?
Yeah,
So
half-time.
we played at Newcastle, and one of my players, I know, was desperate to get Shearer's shirt.
You've got a name and shame, Alan.
No,
Come
I
on.
can't. Right?
You can't.
And I got into the dressing room before some of the players got in, and I'm looking for him, and I know he ain't there, and he went to get his shirt, and I snapped a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, I can't
You'd lost
say
the game. Had you lost the game?
Yeah, we'd lost.
Yeah.
But I was like, he was still trying to get the shirt, and it was because I think, and it was a big player as well. He's a manager now. Anyway.
Oh, who is it?
No,
Scott
no.
Parker.
No, I'm not gonna say it was.
Scott Parker.
We're blaming Scott. It's Scott anyway.
It is
Guilty
Scott.
by association.
I could understand it, you know what I mean? Because we were playing against the big players, and we had John Barnes on loan.
Oh, yeah.
We had John Barnes on loan from Newcastle because he fell out with Hullet, and the players were just like that with Barnes, and he was obviously near the end.
Could he play? He couldn't play then, though, against
No, he
Newcastle.
played. Oh no!
couldn't
But
play,
we had Barnsley on loan for that season, and come in the next day, being relegated, and he gave a team talk, Barnsley, and I'm sitting there. He went, "Can I just say something?" So he gave a team talk, and he said to them all, "You're a good squad. You're a good team. You're going to go straight back up, and I'm going to watch for every game." Blah 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 blah, and then walked out and went back to Newcastle. But he was right. We went straight back up.
That's some of the
Few
names.
names, better say.
I was gonna say
Collection
some
of
of
names.
the
right?
names.
Yeah.
When you obviously, you mentioned your like, you know, the relationship you have with the chairman, and you had like loads of chats with them. Did you have a lot of say in like the players you wanted and how, and obviously compared to nowadays, managers, do you feel like don't have that really much say in terms of players that get brought in and stuff?
I run the whole club, football side, first team, reserves, and obviously the youth team. I had a big input on everything, which, you know, in some respects was so time consuming. You know, as I moved on, and as you say, sporting director, when I went to West Ham, etc., some of them things that took away from you. But I don't think that's entirely right. I think that as a manager, you've got to oversee, especially some of the young players coming into, you know, not academy players, but players that are signed professional and are 18 or 19. You know, you've got to be around that to see their development, and also buying and selling players. You've got to have a say. You've got to have a major say in that. Whereas perhaps nowadays it's not so much a manager's major say.
No. It's a business.
It used to be manager phone up the manager and say, how much you want? Yeah, simple as that. Yeah, like, you know, look, I'm interested in so-and-so. How much you want?
And was that the legal process, or was that just the process?
That was it.
That was the legal process.
That's crazy.
So when has it changed? What made it change?
Since sporting directors and etc. But it used to be manager to manager.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So to get Ruud Gullit, to get John Barnes, you would phone Ruud Gullit and say, can we get my loan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine how good that would be if it was now, just calling up Pep Guardiola, being like, Pep, how much do you want?
But I tell you what it would do for
Foden?
a player to know the manager wants to sign you. For a player, it's like, that's the thing that you
want. So when I signed Clive Mendonca from Grimsby, I phoned Alan Buckley up, the manager, and said, like, you know, I'm interested in Clive. No, you can't have him. No, I'm interested. You know?
Yeah.
So then the next step is the chairman. And then the chairman then goes down to the manager and goes, do you think we should, you know, there's ways of doing it, you know, and etc. But mainly it was manager to manager.
But it's just a cleaner process,
Of course it is.
Just get straight to the point.
And the manager could say, I'll tell you what, yeah, but I fancy a Lescott.
Yeah.
You know, so do you want to do things like that?
Swap deal.
And then once it was agreed by the managers and the clubs and the fees, then the player got told about it. And then if he had an agent, then the agent would be involved, etc. But it was mainly managers to manager. Was
that the same when you went to West Ham then?
Yeah.
Was the same still manager to manager? And did you have, you know, obviously you're saying, you know, you ran it all at Charlton. Did you have, were anything's taken away from you when you went to West Ham?
No, when I first went in, it was me.
Yeah.
But then as it got near the end, things were changing. Obviously I had a financial problem at the club because the Icelandic owners who bought West Ham, I didn't know when I went in, but they lent a lot of money off of Icelandic banks, and the Icelandic banks were going bust, and they wanted their money, and I didn't really know about that, and you know, so I walked into that a little bit, and obviously the Mascherano and Tevez situation, which was bubbling up.
So what year was that?
2006, 2007,
yeah.
something like that. So I inherited a bit of a problem when I walked in there. As I say, the third party stuff with Mascherano and Tevez was a major problem, which we dealt with. And then we had the financial problem in 2008 when the banks were going bust. And they called in the loans. And, you know, that was a difficult time for everybody at the club.
Yeah. When you obviously sort of coming to the end at Charlton, did you decline extending your contract?
Yeah.
What was the reason behind doing that?
Well, the chairman wanted me to sign for 3 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had 1 year left. And I said, look, you know, I've been there for so long. Clubs are coming for me, but I didn't want to get involved in compensation stuff and all that sort of thing. And so, you know, I never moved on. But with 1 year left, I just felt all I wanted to do, and I don't think I'd have lost any enthusiasm or whatever. I still wanted to do well, but I didn't want to sign for 3 years. I wanted to let my contract run out and then see what was out there. The chairman was uncomfortable with that. And we've known each other for obviously years and years and years. I wasn't, and I didn't think it would have affected me. I'd have done as I didn't want to have my last year at the club if it was my last year to be a bad one.
Yeah, of course not.
So, but as the conversations were going on, it was on a Friday, and we're playing at home on the Saturday at Blackburn, and by Friday evening I was leaving.
Wow.
You know, it was just
At what stage of the season?
last game, second from last game. So, I went home and said to my wife and that, I'm off. That was how it happened. I think the chairman, he obviously wanted to do the best for the club, and he's saying, look, if you've got 1 year left and you want to sign a player on a 3 or 4 year deal, is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, Again, did you get that? You were just like, well, I sort of understand.
And if we're sitting there with a player and he goes, but we've heard you've only got 1 year left.
Yeah.
Well, I understood the situation. I didn't actually agree with it 100%, but I understood it. Yeah. So that was Friday afternoon. By Friday night, I was leaving. And so we had Blackburn at home the next day. So I've come in and told the players, I'm off. And my last game was at Old Trafford. So for Charlton, so that was the last game.
How did it feel leaving after such a long time?
It as I say, it was a decision. I wasn't good. I had in my head I want to leave.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have it that I was free. It was amicable.
Yeah.
There was no problem with it. And as I say, within 48 hours, I was gone. I've been there 16 odd years, and then suddenly I was gone. Was
West Ham then a job that you felt like you couldn't say no to? Did you feel like it was just the right step at the right time?
I said no before.
Had you?
I said no
before. Were you tempted to go?
Well, it was the same thing. I was under contract. But now this time it was different. I was a free agent, if you like. And the club, needed a manager. And it was around about now, December, which is normally like this month is a bit dodgy for managers.
Yeah, to come in,
No, but because the window's going to open up.
Yeah.
If there's chairman out there or boards that think, should we make a change? And then the new manager can have the window.
Yeah.
So I believe there should be a window for coaches and managers. I don't believe you should be able to just go and get a new manager.
What, like mid-season? You think it has to be
even if it's before the player window.
So when do you think it should be then?
Before the player window.
So you think there should be...
December. So everybody knows, so clubs know, like, I can get a new manager or recruit a new manager at that time, because I think it just derails too many clubs.
But then what if, so let's take West Ham, for example, obviously...
Want to sack the manager and he's out of contract, that's fine, but you can't go and get
if you're a free agent, that's fine, but if you want a manager from another club, it has to be...
In a window.
Okay.
So I've been out for 6 months.
Yeah.
Quite enjoying myself.
Yeah. What were you doing in that time?
Just enjoying myself, waking up in the morning and not thinking about 50 footballers and everything else.
Managers de-age themselves.
So I wasn't, I was just doing the TV as you do and etc. But and then the opportunity came up, and I come from West Ham. Obviously big ties there, and that year done a double over Man U, because the last game of the season to stay up was at Old Trafford.
Was that the Tevez one?
Tevez one, yeah. So I done a double over Fergie, which was really good.
Yeah. I mean, how many managers will have done the double over Fergie?
I think it might have been a treble as well, I think we done him the next season as well, the first go.
Did you? Yeah. Won 3 in a row?
3 in a row, yeah.
You mentioned Carlos Tevez then. Let's talk about him and the role that he had within your team. Just talk to me about him as a player and what you did for him and to him.
I went in, and obviously the two lads were there. Mascherano hadn't been playing. Tevez had been involved around the first team. As soon as I've gone in, we had an interpreter as well, because there wasn't very good English. I got him in and said, look, I've just come in. What do you want to do? And Mascherano said he wanted to leave, and Tevez said he wanted to stay. Right? But because of the third party thing, I wasn't too sure about anything. No, I wasn't too sure about any of it. It's something new. It wasn't explained to me when I went in, we've got these two players and etc. So, so as we were getting towards the window, I'm looking at Tevez in training and he's hardly played any football.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, right, okay, I'm going to stick you in, mate. And I stuck him in, and Mark Noble, who was 17.
Yeah.
And we beat Spurs. So he was beating Spurs, comfortable, 3-0, and got beat 4-3 at home at Upton Park. But it was the first time that I drove home and thought, I'm going to keep the same team for the next game.
Yeah.
So it was away the next game, and et cetera, et cetera. But that was the team that kept the club up in the end.
Yeah.
Because they started to show some form and won 7 of the last 9 games to stay up. But then Tevez moves on to Man United,
Yeah. Don't know how that happened.
Mascherano goes to Liverpool, and then lo and behold, Tevez goes to Man City. No. So anyway, we stayed up, and the following season we finished 10th. The following season we played 4 games and was in the top 4 when it all kicked off. And that was it. I'm at a club that I played for and wanted to manage, and suddenly it was over again. So.
Just going back to the Carlos Tevez thing, was there a fallout between you and Carlos Tevez, or was there no?
No, I got the interpreter in one day.
Yeah.
And
his English wasn't great.
No. So I've got the interpreter. So I said to the interpreter, I want you to say it as I say it. Right? I want you must say it as I say it. So I had the pitch, like about that big, pitch. Attacking third, midfield third, defensive third. And I said, Carlos, the defensive third, I'm going to give you 7 out of 10. The midfield third, I'm going to give you 9 out of 10. The attacking third, I'm going to give you 3 out of 10. How do you think you're going to score a goal if you're never in the attacking third with a swear word? Right? And the interpreter said it exactly as I said it. And Carlos looked at me. I went, you're not going to play for me unless you stay there.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to do everything except stay in the final third and nick a goal. Right? Then it changed him. So, we just stayed up front then.
When Carlos did go to Man United, were you okay with that? Was that...
Couldn't do much about it, in all fairness, the way the contracts were and etc. And it was an end of an era thing, like we got ourselves fined 25 million or something, So it was the end of that affair.
And when you left West Ham, was it your resignation?
Well, what happened...
How did it work? Yeah.
What happened was, as I say, we played the 3rd or 4th game of the season, beat Blackburn 4-1, and we was in the top 4 or 5, whatever. And I got upstairs to be told that one of my players had gone to Sunderland. And I didn't even know. I thought he was injured.
Different times then for
No,
Charlton.
well,
Wait, so you were told he was injured?
He didn't play, but then, or he told me he was injured. Like he didn't train Thursday or Friday.
Right.
But he'd gone to talk to a club, and I didn't even know. And I just thought, well,
what's the point?
That ain't right, obviously. But other players, their agents have been told that they was for sale, etc., which I didn't know about either. So the position was, in my eyes, untenable. And not many managers resigned then.
Yeah.
It was a big thing for the Premier League and the league managers.
How difficult a decision was it?
It was a big thing because, I resigned. I thought I'd done a really good job there, and court cases ain't simple,
Yeah.
West Ham could sue me as well for, whatever. So it wasn't good. But thankfully it all got sorted out in the end.
Throughout your career as a whole, a brilliant managerial career, we've mentioned Carlos Tevez, what other names would you say are like the best you've worked with, the standouts, the...
Well, I think when I was at Charlton, we was forever selling players, the better players to, keep the thing going. But there was one summer that we signed Clive Mendonca, and it was the first time we'd actually bought players in. So we paid 750,000 for Clive Mendonca. I mean, it was outrageous, really. And it was the first time at pre-season players had come in as opposed to players going out, and that was a big thing. And Clive changed us completely, the way we played, and we knew that if we created a chance and it was him, invariably he was going to score. And then we had great defensive qualities. We had like Richard Rufus, who was a top player. Mark Kinsella in midfield, who was a holding midfield player. So we had, Parker, etc. We was building, but once again, as you were going along in the Premier League, clubs were coming after your players.
Of course, yeah.
So firstly, it was, I shouldn't be mentioning names, but obviously Clive was a massive one. But then we played Chelsea Boxing Day at the Valley and beat them 4-2 and went 4th in the Premier League. And then 2 days later, Ranieri bid for Scotty Parker.
Yeah, for God's sake.
Suddenly, like, you know, and obviously totally different finances for him and everything else. But they offered stupid money, and it went for a couple of weeks before Scott went. Was never going to stand in his way.
Yeah.
But what they offered us at first was crazy.
Yeah.
But I just signed Di Canio from West Ham, and part of the Parker deal we got Carlton Cole on loan.
Oh, yeah.
And we finished 7th, which is the highest the club's ever finished. But I know Scotty don't want to hear this, but if we'd have kept Scott, we'd have finished in the top 4 or 5, I think. But it is what it is. You know, if you're at a club that can't hold on to players, and one of the things that made Charlton so good is that we sold players.
Yeah.
You know, so if someone comes to Scotty Parker, Scotty Minto, if a bigger club, if you'd like, come in, we would find it very difficult to keep the player.
Yeah.
Firstly, because of the monies that they would be getting elsewhere. You know, so we were a selling club, but I didn't particularly want to sell Scott. so we fell out for a couple of weeks. But, you know, in the end, he went.
Yeah.
And, you know, funny enough, Ranieri went soon after that. And then Mourinho come in, didn't fancy Scotty too much. Scott goes to Newcastle, which he loved and done fantastic. So, yeah, it was a disappointing time then because I did have a team that I thought was strong enough for Europe or to get in Europe.
I just want to reference something here, Alan, on your career because it's a big name. Sir Bobby Robson.
Yeah.
He said that he described you as being the best equipped candidate to deal with the pressures of running a top international side. Did you ever come close to doing that?
No,
did you want to? Did
I
you
was
want to
interviewed
go
for the England job.
Yeah.
When Steve McClaren got it, I got interviewed for it. Charlton was in a cup game, a replay we had, and when the FA wanted to meet me, they wanted to meet me at a private place, you know, etc., etc. I couldn't because I was in a cup replay, so I actually met him at the FA, and you know, had my interview, but I didn't think that anything was going to come of it, to be fair. But obviously, to be invited was a big thing.
Yeah.
I always remember Sir Trevor Brooking was on the committee, so I thought I might have half a chance with Trev on it. But as I say, they gave it to Steve, and I could understand that because he'd been working with Fergie, knew all the big players. But yeah, it was at that time when I was contracts as well, as we were talking about that earlier, that the chairman wanted me to sign longer, etc. And so that was a bit of a thing. So but you know, I didn't think I was going to get it.
Yeah, and just finally, you know, 2008 was the last time that you managed. How do you...
Long ago now. I didn't think
No. But listen, I could have got back in.
You could have.
Could have got back in.
Did you not want to?
No, I could have got back in on 4 or 5 occasions.
Yeah.
Premier clubs that were in the bottom 3. You know, round about now, as I said earlier. I was waiting for, not a club in trouble, but I was waiting to go into a club where I'd have a chance.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go into a club in a relegation battle and then go down.
Yeah.
I got offered a couple of clubs in the Championship, but I was waiting for...
Yeah, you was just Premier
waiting
League
for a
manager
club,
there,
where I think I could go and do something. And I always remember Sir Alex telling me, like, don't stay out too long. Don't stay out too long. And now I look at it, people of my era, you know, Sam Allardyce, Moisey, Stevie Bruce, they jump back in.
Yeah.
You know, they after a year, they get back in Sunderland or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I was being perhaps a little bit too picky. And suddenly you're out 2 years. To be fair, it took me a year to sort the West Ham thing out.
Right, okay.
Oh, so you couldn't have gone in there. You would have been messy.
Yeah, so then suddenly you're out 2 years. And as I say, Alex kept saying to me, you got to get back. If you want to get back in, you got to get back in.
No, yeah.
But I was waiting for perhaps the job that was going to excite me. And I'm not being disrespectful to the teams that are in trouble, but I didn't want that.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I wanted to go somewhere where I could perhaps give it a bit of a go. And then suddenly you're out, and then, as we spoke earlier, new sporting directors, new owners. Well, who's Alan Curbishley? Oh, right, you've done all right, Charlton, whatever. Suddenly you're out.
Yeah.
And that's why you see now...
So when did you realise that was... after how long?
Well, 2.5, 3 years.
You thought that's
it.
Yeah. And I started enjoying myself, funny enough. You know, a different world, you know, and actually see my kids grow up. I didn't see my kids grow up.
Oh.
You know, because what we're talking about.
It's
So my
relentless.
week would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, evenings, watching games, watching players or watching opposition. And then Thursday, was the time you didn't do anything. But then suddenly UEFA bringing the UEFA Cup, and then UEFA games are on Thursday, so you might want to watch a foreign player. Friday you might be travelling away. Lots of teams in the Premier League go on in a hotel on a Friday night at home.
Yeah.
Then Saturday you got your game, and Sunday
You're worrying about the review.
No, Sunday I'd always go to France because I could get to Lens or Lille quite easily through the tunnel.
Yeah.
If my European scout was ever recommending players or whatever, I could go and watch them.
Yeah.
I'd never sign a player on a video or someone say so.
Yeah.
I went and watched them. So I could be missing for the whole week, So I started to enjoy myself a bit too much, but I've got no regrets.
Yeah.
But perhaps I should have jumped back in and just give it one more go and see how we went. But that is what it is, and it didn't happen.
Alan, you had a wonderful career, and it's been such a pleasure to have you
That's
on
all
the
right.
show. And, if you were Charlton fans, West Ham fans, and you have favourite memories of Alan, let us know in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Alan, thank you so much once again.
Thank
you. It's been a pleasure. But stick around, guys, because we'll be giving you our Super 6 predictions next. Welcome back to the Super 6 Fan League. We're back with the Christmas rollover, adding another massive £250,000 to the pot this round to make the total jackpot £500,000. Remember, there's no guaranteed winner in this campaign, but it will increase each weekend if it's not won, until it reaches £1 million on December the 27th. So make sure you play for your chance to win big. Joleon's had to leave us for Super 6 today as he's travelling to Madrid for the Manchester City game tonight, so I can't even taunt him about the results from last weekend. Let's take a look at them then, and to be honest, it's our fan Jake that had an absolute worldie. 11 points he got, predicting a 2-0 Spurs win. Me and Joleon got the same. There will be a week that I get more than him. I was hoping it was going to be this week. Actually, no, I want to be with him when I get more points than him. We both got 4. He got 4 because he predicted an Everton win, and I predicted a Manchester City win. So let's have a look at the leaderboard then. Jake, the Millwall fan, who just got 11 points, he's now in second place. Untouchable Alfie is still top, 13 points. Robson has been bumped down to third on 9 points. He's our Southampton fan. And still joint bottom of the leaderboard is Kamira and Sean. A combined leaderboard then, this isn't looking good for me. It's really not looking good. Jake has redeemed fans to the top of the leaderboard on 79 points. Unlucky Joleon, which means he's there on 75 points. I don't really know why I'm laughing because I'm bottom on 62 points, and that's really rubbish. But this week, I think I'm going to decide my predictions with my head and not my heart. So let's look ahead to this week's predictions with Brentford fan James.
Talking about Palace, Man City in the Super 6, what do I think? Palace don't concede many. 2 wins in a row. City banging in goals for fun. I can see City losing 2-1 to Palace.
Okay, so James, our Brentford fan, he's gone rogue. He's gone Crystal Palace to win 2-1. Joleon sent us his predictions before he got on a flight to Madrid. He's gone Palace 1, City 1. Now, I think for this game, I would usually have gone a draw, but Palace can't seem to win after they play in Europe. So I think Manchester City are going to win this, and I think it's going to be Manchester City 2, Crystal Palace 1. So our Brentford fan James has gone Liverpool 2, Brighton 2. Joleon's gone Liverpool 2, Brighton 2. I'm not going to go that. I don't really know, have Liverpool turned a corner? I'm not quite sure. It was a dodgy decision in Europe, which meant they beat Inter Milan. Brighton, you never quite know what you're going to get with them. Okay, I think Liverpool just. I'm going to go Liverpool 2, Brighton 1. I did say I was going to do my predictions this week using my head and not my heart, but I've seen Chelsea in there, so that's changed very quickly. James has gone Chelsea 2, Everton 1. Joleon has gone Chelsea 1, Everton 1. I think the fact that Cole Palmer will be back for this game, and I fully expect him to start because he missed the Champions League game midweek, I think it's going to be tight. I think I'm going to go same as James. I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Everton 1. Okay, next up is Burnley-Fulham. James has gone a draw. He's gone 1-1. Jolien has gone for a away win. He's gone Fulham to win 2-1. Oh, I can't really call this. Again, Fulham have looked better recently. I still am not sure you're quite sure what you're going to get with them. Burnley, if you're ever going to go Burnley, it's probably going to be when they're at home. I'm going to sit on the fence for this one, and I'm going to go Burnley 1, Fulham 1. Oh, this is the big game of the weekend. How long have we been waiting for a Sunderland-Newcastle game in the Premier League? I'm very, very excited. James has got, it is at the Stadium of Light, and James has gone Sunderland 3, Newcastle 1. Jolien's gone the opposite. He's gone Sunderland 1, Newcastle 2. So it only makes sense that I'm going to pick a draw. I've got to pick a draw. I actually think Sunderland at home, they've been so brilliant at home. I just don't know if the occasion's going to get too much for everyone. I hope it's feisty. I hope it lives up to every expectation that we have for this game. But I am going to sit on the fence, but hopefully it's an entertaining draw. I'm going to go Sunderland 2, Newcastle 2. And finally, we have got James. James, the Brentford fan, has predicted Brentford 6, Leeds 0. With a Igor Thiago double hat-trick. I mean, he's in my fantasy team, James, so I would be up for that, I'm not going to lie. However, Jolien's gone Brentford 2, Leeds 1. I actually owe Keith Andrews and Brentford an apology because they've done way better than I thought they would this season. Especially, I think they've been brilliant. I mean, they've been brilliant at home and away, but I think at home you'd back them against anyone. I know Leeds are coming off the back of a couple of really positive results. I just think might be one trip too far for Leeds. So I'm going to go, I don't really want to go the same as Jolien. I'm going to go Brentford 2, Leeds 0. We'll see how we both get on in those predictions when Jolien is back next week. Right, that's a wrap on another Super 6 Fan League. Download the Super 6 app or head to the website, predict 6 results and take your shots at winning the increasing jackpot throughout December. And of course, make sure you join our All Out Football League with code S6-AOF to go head-to-head with other fans of the show. 18+, T's and C's apply.